Wow. 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 Wow is all I can say. Wow. Well-renowned two-time trainer of the year. And I'm sure future Hall of Famer. Eddie Reynoso is going down in the history books. And not because of something good. Eddie Reynoso is now responsible for having the most fighters test positive for a banned substance in boxing history. He's now responsible for the most fighters in history to test positive for a banned substance, performance enhancers. Now we have this, as you can see. Jaime Munguia, former world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, in his rematch with Bruno Sirach, after getting shockingly knocked out, he signs with Eddie Reynoso, and he tests positive for PEDs. You have Luis Neri, and the funny part about it, or the unfunny part about it, none of these fighters have ever tested positive before Eddie Reynoso and after Eddie Reynoso. But now you have Luis Neri, Oscar Valdez, Jaime Munguia, Canelo Alvarez, and I believe it's two other fighters, if I'm not mistaken, I'm forgetting their names, that have tested positive for performance enhancers. Before Oscar Valdez got with Eddie Reynoso, he never tested positive. As soon as he got with him, he tested positive. Then he tried to blame it on the tea. Canelo tested positive for clenbuterol and blamed it on the steak. Jaime Munguia is testing positive. Luis Neri. But none of these guys tested positive after being with Eddie Reynoso. Not before or after. And we saw a transformation. Now it's time that we open our eyes. Because we saw a transformation in the 4-division world champion, two-time undisputed super middleweight, who will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is 63 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout. We saw a transformation from early in his career. He suffered from stamina issues in the second half of fights. He faded. Then suddenly, when he got to 160, those issues went away. And then he tested positive for clenbuterol. So those issues suddenly went away. And then he tested positive for clenbuterol. Jaime Munguia never tested positive for any banned substance. But now he gets with Eddie Reynoso, and he tests positive for a banned substance. And it's no wonder that Ryan Garcia tested positive for a banned substance, because who was Ryan Garcia with? You got it, Eddie Reynoso. He left from Eddie Reynoso and got with Derrick James, then tested positive. But I'm guaranteeing that he learned that behavior from Eddie Reynoso. His team learned that behavior from Eddie Reynoso. Allegedly. I'm not even going to say allegedly, because the fact is he has over 5 fighters that tested positive for banned substance, performance enhancers. And I told you guys yesterday when I did the stream, this is no disrespect to any other race. I'm just telling the truth. Mexican fighters have physical limitations. And in order to equal a playing field with the African-American fighters and even the Eastern European fighters that are highly technically sound and skilled, like Lomachenko and Alexander Usyk, they have a bit of that rhythmic and perpetual motion that the late, great, legendary, iconic Hall of Famer, in my opinion, Kurt Anderson, a.k.a. Kurt Sugar, a.k.a. my brother and my former co-host, Kurt Anderson, used to say. Rhythmic and perpetual motion. Usyk has it. Baranchik has it. Vasyl Lomachenko has it. They have a bit of that rhythmic and perpetual motion along with their technical skill set. And it makes it hard for them to deal with. And we already know. Need we say any more about the African-American fighters? We already know what it is. And then you have even the Caucasian fighters from America that have rhythmic and perpetual motion, like Caleb Plant and Chris Algieri, to name a few. Even Paulie Malignaggi. Not much punching power out of the three of them, but guess what? They can box your socks off. Because they can move, they slick, they have rhythmic and perpetual motion. We say this all the time. Mexican fighters have what? Mexican style. Rock'em sock'em robots. Stand in the pocket, make it exciting, just trade blows. That's just the facts of the matter. And to equal the playing field, they need help. And it's no wonder. Oscar Valdez, Mexican. Jaime Munguia, Mexican. Canelo Alvarez, Mexican. I don't remember where Luis Neri is from. But here's the thing. Ryan Garcia, Mexican. Mexican. Okay? Ryan Garcia, suddenly, Luis Neri, Mexican. Luis Neri is Mexican fighter. So Ryan Garcia testing positive shouldn't be a shock to anybody. Because he came from that Eddie Reynoso school of boxing. Period. So is it time now that we talk about Eddie Reynoso in the same breath, in the same light we talk about Victor Conte? Because clearly there's an issue going on, and he needs to be investigated. Clearly. Multiple fighters tested positive with him. How many times? And we gave him Fighter of the Year. Twice. Coach of the Year, Trainer of the Year. Twice. Derrick James ain't never had a fighter test positive before that Ryan Garcia situation. Bomac ain't never had a fighter test positive. What are we doing? So it's safe to say that Terrence Bud Crawford, the pound-for-pound king, 4-division champion, 2-division undisputed champion, going for a 5th division title and a 3rd division undisputed against Canelo Alvarez in September. We know Terrence Crawford is versatile. 41 wins, no loss, no draw. 31 wins by way of knockout. 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. He got a 4-inch arm reach advantage. He has the rhythmic and perpetual motion. He can counterpunch. He can fight in the pocket, mid-range, and on the outside. And after that William Skull fight, it's safe to say that Terrence Crawford needs to demand that Canelo Alvarez is doing Olympic-style drug testing. Terrence Crawford needs to demand that Canelo Alvarez is doing Olympic-style drug testing. Not just your normal, typical VADA testing. No, he needs to do extensive Olympic-style testing. Because look, Jaime Munguia just got his revenge on Bruno Sarace after we just finding out today that Jaime Munguia tests positive, and that fight was May 3rd. That was on the Canelo card. We going into June. We going into June today, people. Today is what? May 28th? May 29th? May 29th. In 4 days, that would be 4 or 5 days. That would be a month. That would literally be a month since he fought. And we just now finding out a month later. A month later. So Terrence Crawford needs to demand Olympic-style testing. I'm telling you. Because he could beat Canelo. And I mean, he could beat Terrence Crawford. And then guess what? We find out a month later that he's test positive. Same thing we seen with Ryan Garcia. Same thing with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. We find out a month later that Ryan Garcia tested positive after the results and after Devin Haney took the punishment. And yet we blame Devin Haney. This is nasty work. It's nasty work. We need to do something about it. Terrence Crawford is in danger. And we need to stand up and raise awareness now. We need to start right now. It's May, June, July, August, September. Every month we need to keep raising awareness and bring attention and shed light to this just so they don't think that they could get away with it. Because I'm telling you, Canelo Alvarez has warned us he did not like the style matchup with him and Terrence Crawford from the very beginning. He said he moved around too much. I'm telling you. Then he said he changed his mind because His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh put that bag up. And on top of that, Canelo Alvarez is saying that after the Madrimov fight, he's seen that Terrence Crawford slowed down. I'm telling y'all, man. Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford needs to demand Canelo Alvarez on an Olympic-style stringent testing ASAP. I'm telling you. And that's all I got for y'all. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. All one word. It's your boy Blue signing off. I'm gone. Peace.